Hi friends, welcome back. I'm so excited because today I'm going to see one of my most anticipated films of this year. Ever since I learned about Saltburn, I was sold. And I have not seen the trailer for this one, but I've heard many good things. The film is directed by Emerald Fennell, who you may know from Promising Young Woman, and the dark comedy drama thriller stars Barry Keoghan, Jacob Elordi, and Carey Mulligan, amongst many others. The cast is huge. But what is very interesting about this film is it's meant to have a twisted atmosphere as we follow a student at Oxford University who finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic classmate's world, who invites him to visit his eccentric family's sprawling estate for the summer. This is going down the rabbit hole. I love a dark thriller. I'm a huge fan of Promising Young Woman, and I'm a huge fan of Barry Keoghan. I know that he picks very exciting, all kind of different roles. So I'm very keen to dive into this one. It's a 2-hour film, so it's a little bit longer. So I'm going to let you know whether it's worth rushing out to see as soon as it hits cinemas where you are. I am going to the first screening in my town, which is 10 a.m., which I'm really excited about because when it's a 2-hour movie, sometimes you need to do that when you're sprung. You know what I mean? I'm taking a coffee and I'm ready to dive in, and I'm just so excited. The tagline for this one is a beautifully wicked tale of privilege and desire. And I'm excited to know how wicked it gets. Come with me to watch this psychological thriller that has a little bit of dark comedy and a lot of drama. And also, fun fact, Margot Robbie is a producer on this one. Anyway, let's go check out Saltburn. I've been so excited for this one ever since it hit film festivals. People can't stop talking about it, so I'm gonna figure out if it's worth my time and your time. Let's go. Oh my god! That was fantastic! If I wasn't a Barry Keoghan fan before, I am now. In fact, I'm like a stan. I loved him in Killing of a Sacred Deer, one of my favorite Yorgos films, but this film is Oscar worthy. Like, his performance was so amazing. I do want to start this off. This happens sometimes. I don't know what to expect, and that's why I make these videos for other people who don't know what to expect and don't know if, you know, it's worth going to the cinema, whether it's their kind of speed. Obviously, the way we talk about film here is if something is for you, I try and point out those little aspects, and everyone likes something different. But I was really shocked by this film because it wasn't what I expected at all. I thought it was going to be this crazy psychological thriller, and it's kind of this slow burn drama that catches you by surprise because it's so unexpected until it's expected. And I can't go further into that aspect because of spoilers, but I do want to say go out and watch this film straight away because it will be spoiled really easily. And a lot of people, I believe, even posting little gifs or, you know, little captions can give away a lot of what's going on here. The movie follows Oliver Quick, who has just started university, and he's kind of the odd duck out. He comes from a poor family, a rough upbringing that you learn along the way, and he makes friends with a really popular kid that everyone is drawn to, and then from there, things transpire and he is able to go to Saltburn, which is this guy's basically his manor with his family, who are a bunch of eccentric characters. It is completely different to his world, and things happen that cannot be undone. What I liked about the movie is the slow build-up. They use a lot of the film to establish the friendship between them, or whatever's going on. The film itself is very horny. I just want to say, do not watch this film with family members, anything like that. The scenes are not for that. I went and I was alone in the cinema until an older lady came in and another gentleman, he came and sat behind me, and oh my God, I hope that that woman was okay by the end of it. But the film, as much as it's kind of got this sinister kind of stirring atmosphere, especially with the fact that he doesn't belong in this place and everyone likes to remind him of that, it has a comedic edge. And I talked about the dark comedy aspect. I found it so dry, so funny, a lot of really interesting jokes. There was a funny joke that was about like British pop, and I thought that the comedy on it was so dark. It's very dark satire, kind of making fun of these wealthy people and just outrageous comments, and I love that. And a lot of these came from Rosamund Pike's character, who is the mother in the situation. Honestly, she was one of my favorite characters, and I didn't expect her to be such a shining light. It was really interesting watching her navigate the situations and what was happening. But the big part of the film I haven't spoken about is this is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. Every single image was just it was just beautiful. It was like an oil painting, and the situations and the landscape and the way they framed things, the composition, everything was thought out to a T, and it was like watching fine art, and I really enjoyed that aspect. It kind of made this slow burn feel natural because it was in this kind of old English setting, and it was like going through an art gallery and watching this story transpire in front of you. It was just brilliant. I couldn't believe how different it is to the director's other work, but how perfect it fit. It was such a good way of encapsulating this story. It all fit together so well. It's also interesting because the film is shot in 4:3, so it's a very like boxed ratio, which again wasn't expecting, but it makes it feel like you're peeping in and you're watching things you shouldn't be seeing, and you're seeing a part of society that you're not invited to, which is very much like the lead character. Everything makes sense when you see it as a big picture, which I really enjoy. But the thing about this movie is you need to see it as the big picture. So if you're confused why I am harping on about this slow-moving drama, you need to wait all the way through to the end of this film for everything to come to fruition, for it to make complete poetic sense. And when it does, I was so glad that they went all the way there, because I had a feeling that they were touching on things but weren't going to, really give you the full picture, but they do, and I was really happy about that. I also was really excited about the music. It had a very interesting, kind of jarring effect to the rest of what I'm talking about with the cinematography and everything coming together, because it was very much like based in 2000s and reminded me back of like when I went to uni. It's the same kind of indie kind of pop music they present in this film. They got Block Party, you got MGMT, Arcade Fire, a lot of that kind of stuff. So it was a really interesting, it kind of shows the juvenile kids going back into this manor, and it was just a really interesting juxtaposition between those two, so it made sure you knew it was modernized, and there was no mistakes about that. The costumes were fascinating. The set design is just beautiful, and it's just a good story, guys. It is just a well-told story that is slow, so you really do have to stick with it, but the performances make it, so I was happy to stick with it. I could have watched another hour of that, to be honest, in the middle. A lot of things feel like they're happening slowly, then they happen all at once, and I do think it's worth the payoff. I really enjoyed this film, and just the performances were top-notch. I recommend checking this one out. It's not as thrilling as I thought. It is psychological, but more of a psychological drama, I would say, and that's why I'm here, guys. I'm here to report back on what it is actually like compared to how it's marketed. So I was told it was going to be this twisted, dark tale that was a thrilling psychological ride, and it wasn't as much so. It was more of a drama, a slow drama that had a poetic message and was more classic than I was expecting. But I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love this film, one of my favorite films I watched this year that isn't horror. I'm going to give it, for originality, I'm gonna give it like a 6. I don't think it's very original. I just think that it's just so well done. And for scare, maybe a 2. But do not watch this with family members or anything like that, guys. A lot of sexual content you don't want to see. I don't think it's that disturbing by any means. I was kind of surprised that it wasn't more disturbing, especially after Promising Young Woman. And I don't know if I'm desensitized, but definitely not even to that level. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Something a little bit different from me, which I think is totally fine. And let me know if you've seen Saltburn and if you plan to. I do recommend seeing this one in cinemas because it's just beautiful on a huge screen. But if you have to wait, just don't listen to what anyone says until you watch this film because it's very easily spoiled. Anyway, I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you do want to check out horror movies, I did a Come With Me on Thanksgiving, and here's a list of horror movies out this month on VOD and streaming platforms. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, friends.